Now the liquid-liquid solutions. The first is the route flow. Route flow is for volatile liquid-liquid solutions. The partial pressure of each component in the solution in vapor phase is directly proportional to its mole fraction in the solution. Right? So here, for a solution of volatile liquids, the partial pressure of each component in solution in vapor phase why this written in solution in vapor phase? Because the components are in solution, right, and the partial pressures are in vapor phase because gas exerts the pressure. So partial pressure of each component in vapor phase present in the solution, right? So the partial pressure of each component in the solution in vapor phase is directly proportional to its mole fraction in the solution. Right? So partial pressure of a gas, let's the first component, right, is directly proportional to its mole fraction. Partial pressure of first gas directly proportional to mole fraction of the first gas. And if we are going to equate it, it will be some constant must be there. This time it is P1 naught x1. Here the P1 naught is the pressure of the component. It is first component, so it is for the first component. The pressure of the first component or pressure of the component in pure form, right? So here P1 is equal to P1 naught x1. The same way P2 is equal to P2 naught x2, right? Here P1 is equal to the partial pressure of first component or first gas in vapor phase, right? In the same way P2 is equal to partial pressure of second component in vapor phase. X1 is equal to mole fraction of first component in solution, and x2 is equal to mole fraction of second component in solution, right? So here this is according to the Raoult flow. Now if you are going to see the Dalton's law of partial pressure, according to Dalton's law of partial pressure, P total is equal to P1 plus P2. Two components we have taken. So P1 partial pressure, P2 partial pressure of second component, P1 is the partial pressure of first component. The total pressure is P1 plus P2. So here P1 can be replaced by P1 naught x1 and P2 with P2 naught x2, right? So P1 naught x1, P2 naught x2. Here you may replace this mole fraction because mole fraction, the total mole fraction taken in the solution is 1. So it is x1 plus x2 is equal to 1. So you may replace x1, you may as well replace the x2. So x1 is equal to 1 minus x2. So here, if you are going to replace this p1 naught 1 minus x2 plus p2 naught x2, it will be p1 naught minus p1 naught x2 plus p2 naught x2. Here p1 naught minus x2, p2 naught minus p1 naught. So that means the total pressure of the liquid solutions can be related to the mole fraction of the second component, or if you are going to replace x2, then it will be directly proportional to the mole fraction of the first component, right? So it may vary with both the components directly because it is linearly variable. So it is y is equal to mx plus c, like so. Here y is equal to mx plus c. So it is linearly vary with mole fraction of the second component, or it may vary with mole fraction of the first component if you are going to replace the mole fraction of the second with mole fraction of the first, like this, right? Now, according to this observation, some conclusions come, right? What are those conclusions? Let us describe it. So now, the conclusion of this equation. This equation conclusions. Right? I am going to write this side. The first is the total vapor pressure of the liquid solution can be related to the mole fraction of the any one component directly. Right? Means that is linearly variable. Right? So here the total pressure vapor pressure, that is vapor pressure of liquid solutions can be related to mole fraction of any one component in the solution. Right? Clear? Now the second point is total vapor pressure varies linearly with mole fraction of any one component, whether it is first or it is second. So I am going to write here the second component, it may be the first component, fraction of second component. Clear? Now the third point is, which he concluded from this equation, is the total vapor pressure. The total vapor pressure increases or decreases with the mole fraction of the second or mole fraction of the first component. So total vapor pressure decreases or increases with the mole fraction of first component . right? So these are the conclusions concluded from the equation, from this equation. Clear? Here P1 naught and P2 naught we have written that. If not written, I am indicated here. The P1 naught is equal to the vapor pressure in pure form of first component. First component in pure form when not mixed with any kind of component, right? Now P2 naught is the vapor pressure of second component in pure form, right? Now the next is, if we are going to see in this is the total pressure, these are the partial pressures, these are the pure vapor pressures, and these are the mole fractions in the liquid, right? But vapors are there in the vapor state, so mole fraction of each component must be there in vapor phase also, right? For the mole fraction in vapor phase, the formulas are here. Note. For vapor phase, for mole fraction in vapor phase, right? P1 is equal to Y1 P total, the first formula, and second is P2 is equal to Y2 P total. Here Y1 is equal to mole fraction of first component in vapor phase. Here X1 is the mole fraction of first component in liquid, and here Y1 is the mole fraction of first component in vapor phase, because the liquid solutions are volatile, right? So Y2 is equal to mole fraction of second component in vapor phase, right? PT is equal to total vapor pressure, and P1 and P2 we have indicated earlier that P1 is the partial pressure of the first component and the P2 is the partial pressure of the second component, right? So this is the all about the Raoult's law. Now next move to the some questions about the Raoult's law.